goed. Oké, hoe is de audio? Zo goed. Oké, hoe is de audio? Beter. Zo goed. Oké, hoe is de audio? Beter. Zo goed. Ja, zoals het was, zo vaak is. Uit. Audio een klein beetje zachter zetten, want dit is wel heel luid. Ja, dat deed dus niks. Zo, zo is het wel beter. Hoeft niet zo belachelijk luid te staan dat mijn oren ervan afvallen. Uit, gaan we eens opnieuw proberen hè. Wacht hè, even zien dat ik mijn OBS open heb. Ja, oké. Zien wat het is. Het spel is gratis in de store, dus we zullen zien of het iets voorstelt. Ik denk het wel, lijkt me wel een leuke game. Oh, hij staat geblinddoekt, what the fuck. Gewoon dat hij niet raak zit. Heb ik geen keus? Waarom staat hij daar geblinddoekt te schieten?
Stop, Holmes!
Is that you, Watson?
Yes, of course it is. And you almost killed me.
Nonsense. I was aiming for the vases.
Blindfolded?
Watson, quiet please. I'm trying to concentrate. Ah, Lestrade. What is it this time?
He can see me. Well, here it is, and it's a good one, Mr. Holmes. A gentleman by the name of Peter Carey, also known as Black Peter, has been murdered.
A sailor, most probably.
What happened here?
Oh, Mr. Holmes, how could you?
It's the only exercise I've
Ik
had
wist niet
all
dat de
week.
serie
A grateful
zo
client
close met de
from
origineel
Limoges
was.
sent me a vase collection this morning. I couldn't think of a better use for it.
You're out of your mind.
I missed 4 out of 10.
Given you were blindfolded, that was very good. Can I have a try?
Am I the only sane one here?
I suppose that Watson is right, Inspector. A little brain work would be preferable now. Do please tell us more about Black Peter.
Peter Carey,
Well, he
born
was
in
black.
1845 and 50 years old. An ambitious sort, he achieved much success in seal and whale hunting around Scandinavia. Retired in 1884 with a small fortune. He invested his money in a property called Woodman's Lee, near Forest Row in Sussex. It was where he lived for 6 years, and where he was found dead yesterday.
Has the investigation already begun?
Yes and no. In fact, this crime is so mysterious that I would prefer you to join me down there.
Give me half an hour to prepare, Inspector.
Take your time and join me there. I have to go through the yard first. The merry men struck again.
What have they done this time?
They robbed a powder reserve. I'll meet you at Woodman's Lee, Mr. Holmes.
I should help Mrs. Hudson here. I also have several appointments that I must keep this afternoon.
I shall go alone then.
Well then. Peter Carey, also known as Black Peter. Select the suit, inspect the crime, investigate the murder. So this is where I live. Here is the crime. What the hell?
You go along to Peter Carey's house. Mrs. Hudson and I will take care of the mess you've made here.
Let's look at the pretty lady. Oh, hello there. Okay.
My analysis table. It is useful for my work.
So I can leave without putting on clothes.
Oh, what a mess! What a terrible mess!
My archive. I can always consult with it if needed. This is where I keep my post. This is where I
Kan
keep
du
my
misschien ook de
post.
letter lezen?
My archive. I can always consult with it if needed. My archive. I can always consult with it if needed.
Makeup. What the hell? What's the point of doing this? Should I make him bald? Whoa, perfect. Ooh, I like that one. Looks like Daniel Radcliffe. Looks like Abraham Lincoln. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with this one. What the fuck? Why can't I use it? What was the point in putting it on then? Ah, so it was locked. Okay. Going with the light suit. Fancy. Okay, let's check which one I can wear. Well, not any. I can wear this one. The fuck? Why only this one? No glasses. And no facial hair. Okay then. Oh, can run. Can't I just steal one of his clothes? Maybe one of his beards? Okay, on to the crime scene, I guess.
Mr. Holmes, I'm over here. Come on.
Come on.
It seems that the garden was well maintained.
This game actually looks pretty decent.
Mr. Holmes?
Mr. Holmes. So there is the crime scene. No, can't walk here. Invisible barrier. Can't go in there.
Inspector Lestrade, when will you remove my husband's body? It's sacrilegious to leave him here like this.
As soon as we can, Mrs. Carey, I assure you. Allow me to introduce you to Mr. Sherlock Holmes. He's a detective. No doubt you've heard of him. I'll wait for you in front of the cabin, Mr. Holmes.
My condolences, Mrs. Carey.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes.
Madam, can you tell me if you saw or heard anything unusual upon the night of the murder?
At 2 o'clock in the morning, I heard a terrible scream. But I thought nothing of it then. He would scream all the time when he was drunk.
Do you remember at what time you found your husband's body?
In the morning, at around 7 o'clock, I noticed the cabin door was open, but I didn't go in to take a look, for I knew my husband would not have liked it. At around 10 o'clock, I dared to glance in through the door, and oh dear.
Oh dear.
The garden is very large and well maintained. Do you employ someone to look after it?
It is true, there is a lot of work, but my husband took care of it himself.
Was your husband accustomed to receiving visitors?
Oh no, I don't think so. I mean, he didn't really have many friends. He lived quite an isolated life here, after his retirement.
Can you please tell me what occurred on the evening of the murder?
Well, Peter got drunk in the evening. He was in such a terrible temper. Usually whenever that happened, he'd stay all night drinking in his cabin before passing out.
Was niet zo heel veel, hè? Arrested it. Naughty man.
You have indeed suffered a great loss, Mrs. Carey. Nevertheless, I believe it will be less of a burden for you soon.
Yes, life with Peter was never easy, but he was still my husband.
He was different, wasn't he, when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh my goodness, but how do you know about that?
You undertook a pilgrimage to the Cathedral of Santiago de Compostela when you were young. That much is evident from the rosary in your hand. The shortest route for the pilgrim from England to Spain is from Plymouth. I believe that you met Peter Carey as a young sailor there, and you married him soon afterwards.
That is indeed what happened, Mr. Holmes. How extraordinary.
Wat moet ik zeggen?
Thank you, madam.
Who
Je kunt het
do
of je
such
kunt
a
het
thing?
niet.
My poor husband.
Oké,
Mr. Holmes?
dus die motherfuckers hebben niks te zeggen.
It seems that the garden was well maintained.
Ah, dat wist wel.
Peter Carey's body is inside the cabin.
Nou, moet misschien daar die thee
The door
gebruiken.
is locked.
Wait just a moment, Mr. Holmes, and I'll open it. I locked it yesterday to ensure that no one should enter the cabin and tamper with the evidence.
Ah, good thinking.
Hello.
What is it, Lestrade?
It seems to me that someone has tried to force it, Mr. Holmes.
Let me see.
Let me see. What am I supposed to focus on? Oh.
These scratches are fresh. You're right. Someone tried to force open the door.
I swear these scratches were not here yesterday.
Now, a mysterious visitor came here last night.
Well, he's not the man for the job. This lock is not a difficult one.
Perhaps he did not have the right tool.
Sinds wanneer is het een man? Wanneer hebben we dat beslist? Maar nu kan ik opeens wel hier lopen. Zien hierachter iets? Oké, zelfs binnen gaan zien, hè.
What a terrible
Well,
way to
well.
die. The tooth of a sperm whale, probably from one of Peter Carey's catches.
Sperm whale, my favorite. Yeah, it's suspicious, so I...
This
Ah,
place
okay.
is not covered with dust, like the rest of the shelf. An object was taken from here. It was larger than a book, a box or a small chest, perhaps. The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn for the years 1878 to 1884. Peter Carey was her captain. Peter Carey's boots. They look to be a size 8. Old navigation instruments, nothing interesting.
So what's up with the book?
Harpoons
With
for
the
hunting
shoes.
whales. The initials PC have been crudely
Peter.
burned. A sailor's work.
It's probably just his name. What the fuck? Ah, so...
This aroma is familiar, but to recognize it, I must construct my associations in one picture.
What the hell? Isn't it like this? How is it not like this? this is actually difficult. Wait. So this is more or less lined up. No, I'm supposed to watch it from this way. Wait. I line this up first, then I place this piece. Yes.
Yes. This is a coarse tobacco, quite strong and very popular among sailors. Someone drank from this glass recently.
Looks fucking dirty.
Rum, a sailor's drink. It seemed that Captain Carey was enjoying a drink before he met his death.
With someone else, perhaps.
The Sea Unicorn. She was the ship that Peter Carey commanded. This man is in his 50s, yet he still looks quite strong. Peter Carey was fully dressed. He was not caught by surprise. It is possible that he knew his murderer. Peter
Good
Carey
point.
was impaled to the wall by a whaling harpoon.
So it might have been someone he knew.
The weapon fully penetrated the body. The force of the blow was immense. The pattern of the blood stain indicates that the notebook was not lying on the floor prior to the crime, but it was dropped into the pool of blood after the death of Peter Carey. JHN are probably the initials of the owner of this notebook. These abbreviations mean something, but what?
Names, perhaps.
This blood is from the pool underneath the dead body. This wooden handle is plain and solid. Peter Carey tried to defend himself with this knife, but he did not succeed.
Perhaps he did leave a stab mark or something. What was her name? Judith. What? Peter, Judith. Wait. Where is the book? JHN. Maybe it's Judith. It's B. Judith Carey says that her husband took care of the garden himself. That does not sound feasible. She might be hiding something. So, no gardener. Wait, huh? How does this work? Okay, attempts and break-in. So what's linked to each other? Perhaps a notebook with this.
Someone was here yesterday. They attempted to force the door to gain entry.
Organize an ambush with Lestrade. The mystery intruder might return tonight to finish what is planned.
Well, Mr. Holmes, what do you think?
I think that we are lucky
And why is that?
because of last night's attempted break-in.
Oof, you've lost me.
It is very probable that whoever came here hoped to find the door open. They tried to force it with a knife blade, but they failed. What will they do? Why, return tonight, when they will be better prepared.
Aha! So what do you propose?
We shall remain on the outside, near the window, where we stand the best chance of catching sight of our visitor. Well, gentlemen, ready your pistols. We have a long night ahead of us.
We need to find a good place for an ambush. Perhaps behind Carey's cabin, near the window.
Yes. I can talk to her again.
Is this your husband's tobacco pouch?
I'm not sure. It might be that he hadn't smoked in a very long time.
She should know if he smoked.
Your husband's private papers. Do you know where they are?
There was a small tin box, barely larger than a book. He kept his papers there. It should be somewhere in his
Oh,
cabin.
so that's what's missing.
Thank you, madam.
Who could do such a thing? My poor husband.
Mr. Holmes?
So what the fuck am I supposed to do?
We need to find a good place for an ambush. Perhaps behind Carey's cabin, near the window.
So right here.
This looks like the perfect hiding place.
Alright, let's catch that criminal. Oké. Het spel heeft ook echt wel decent graphics, vind ik. Ze weten toch niet eens zeker of er zelfs iemand gaat komen. Voor hetzelfde geld staan ze daar de hele nacht gewoon te kijken. Aha. Looks like a little boy. Oh, never mind. Well. Still looks
There's
pretty
someone
young.
there. I'm gonna collar him.
I'll be right behind you.
Police! Hold it right there. All right, my fine fellow. Who are you and what are you doing here?
You're detectives, I suppose. You imagine that I'm connected with the death of Captain Carey. I assure you I'm innocent.
Innocent? And what are you doing in his cabin?
Shall I tell you? You came to retrieve what you had lost after killing Peter Carey, but we were here waiting for you.
What is your name?
John Hopley Nelligan, but I didn't...
Do you deny that you came here yesterday?
No, but yes, it's just that I couldn't...
I'm tired of this. Off we go to the yard. Tomorrow, I'll see that you're put in front of the judge.
What? But you can't! I'm not... It's a terrible mistake!
Enough. You can explain all of that to the judge. You're coming with me to the yard.
But...
In light of recent events, it seems evident that your coming here was unnecessary. All the same, I'm very grateful to you, Mr. Holmes.
You are welcome, Inspector, but please don't be too hard on our young fellow. I would like to question him tomorrow morning.
Oké, dus we hebben één gepakt. Naar die jacht zeker. Dus die jacht is het
Holmes?
politiebureau.
Good morning, Mr. Holmes. Can I help you?
Good morning, Constable. I would like to speak to the fellow who was arrested at Woodman's Lee last night.
Ah, the young man. He's waiting in the interrogation room. You can go straight through. His belongings are held in the evidence room.
Thank you.
Dan gaan we daar eens eerst even kijken zeker.
Mr. Holmes?
Evidence room, oké.
These are the suspect's belongings. The notebook that we found on Peter Carey's cabin floor. These abbreviations mean something, but what?
Oké, dus dat moet ik aan die kerel vragen. Een ring. From R. Dawson to my friends. Wait. Wie is R. Dawson? 1883. Okay. Let's put that back for a second.
A pocket knife. It was used to force the door of Peter Carey's cabin. A handkerchief with the initials JHN.
So what about this ring? Okay. Had ik hier al een paar vragen gesteld zeker? Welke kant moet ik zelfs op?
Mr. Holmes?
Locked.
Zie je nog iets dat ik kan vinden? Ah, hier liggen dus de dooien. Oké dan. Dan gaan we die ene keer alles
Locked.
ondervragen.
Does this notebook belong to you?
Yes. But where did you find it? I did not know... I thought I'd lost it at the hotel.
What do these abbreviations mean?
Oh, no. I beg you, I can't. If I told you, it would only make things worse.
But I will find out eventually, Mr. Nelligan. The sea knife was found near Carey's body. Tell me, Mr. Nelligan, did Mr. Carey try to defend himself or to attack you with it?
I don't know. I didn't kill anyone.
Let's look at the ship. So, quite poor. Yet expensive fabric. Short sleeves, I don't see how that matters.
Well, I will see you soon, young man.
Please, let me go. I'm innocent.
So... missing tin box to the non-smoker? Nope.
I need to stage a reconstruction. I'm sure that Watson would be happy to oblige.
Wait, what was this? Interrogate. Watson got help. Belongings. Okay, let's go to Watson. Wait. Missing tin box. Nope. Nope. Nope.
A map of London and the surrounding area. It could be useful. A spot of whaling, Watson?
Are you serious?
No, but we do need to clarify what happened on
A reenactment, then?
the sailor's knife, Watson. Why was it on the floor?
Peter Carey attempted to defend himself?
It is possible. But if that is the case, then it alters many things.
I don't quite follow you.
Tell me, my friend, what is the animal closest to man, morphologically, I mean?
Ah, I see what you're getting at, Holmes. You asked me that once before. On the Ripper case, I believe. Do you want to slit some more pigs' throats?
No.
Thank goodness for that.
I wish to impale one with a harpoon.
Wonderful.
Watson, let us pay a visit to our butcher. One of the harpoons on the wall of blood.
Alright.
I need to take a harpoon with me.
Oké. Waarom zou ik niet eerst varken halen? Hello, El Hombre. Are you Dutch or English? Here's the harpoon.
That should
Take
do
it.
Now I am ready for the experiment.
Now let's stab a pig, because that's a normal thing to do. Hey El Hombre, how are you doing, man? Okay, let's talk to
Well,
Watson.
here we are in the preparation room. I can't say that I like the smell of it much. What do you intend to do?
To indulge myself in a little experiment. The challenge of lancing a pig's carcass with a heavy harpoon.
A little experiment?
Stand aside, Watson. This might be dangerous. I am not well practiced in this exercise. Yet.
Holmes, you should aim for the mark in order to perform the most reliable test.
Oh, I can't aim on him. Too bad. Jeez.
Holmes, you should try to aim better. And
Yo, why don't you try it? Oof. This is hard. I have to aim it, at it, and get it in the middle. Oh, perfect.
This is the best possible result that I could get. Do you see, Watson? Throwing a harpoon and pinning a man to a wall requires either exceptional strength and training or diabolical luck.
if it was luck, then it was a chance in 1,000 that night.
Well, yes. Let us leave now.
All right.
Very well.
Of course.
So it couldn't have been the boy. So maybe it was one of his associates, because he was a fisher. Where should I go next? Strength requirements to be able to pierce a man's chest with a harpoon all the way to a wall. To give skill necessary. Two men in cooperation might achieve the same results than an unskilled. Let's interrogate. Where was this again? Was it here? No. No, it was through here.
What am I doing here? What am I doing here? I've done...
So, who am I supposed to talk to? Interrogate.
These are the suspect's belongings. From R. Dawson.
Maybe this is a second person. Is there anything else I can do with it?
To my friend and partner, 1883. Dawson. I've seen this name before. Perhaps my archive holds the answer.
Perhaps it does. Why not just interrogate the guy? I can. Fuck the archive.
The police seized this valuable ring from you. Whose is it?
I didn't steal it from anyone. It has always belonged to me.
The ring's date of engraving is many years ago. You would have been a child then, hardly in any position to receive such an item from a partner. So, Mr. Nelligan, who is the true owner of the ring?
The ring is mine.
No, Mr. Nelligan. I believe that the ring had belonged to your father.
Oh, but how do you know?
The jacket you are wearing is made of an expensive fabric that only a man of exceptional wealth could afford. You do not seem to me to be a rich man, Mr. Nelligan. Furthermore, the garment is ill-fitting. It is quite clear that it belonged to someone else, most probably your father. With your father gone and taking with him the family's wealth, as a little boy you had to find yourself a manual job, and it was most probably cleaning fish. You cut your hands often while working. I can tell from the scars.
I'm speechless, Mr. Holmes.
Well,
what can I say?
I will see you soon, young.
What am I doing here?
Alright, where the fuck was I supposed to go again? Oh yeah, to the archive. Let's have a look at my archives. A heavy gold ring from R. Dawson to my friends.
That is not the one I need. That is not the one I need. That is not the one. That is not the one I need.
So which one do I need?
That is not the one I need. That is not the one I need. That is...
Dawson and Nelligan Investment Fund, a regional banking institution based in Cornwall. Bankruptcy as a result of heavy losses in bond portfolio. The liquidation of copious bureaucrats of the Commonwealth Village, also Nelligan.
Here it is. Now I begin to understand that young man's story, but I am still unclear as to what connects him with the murder. It is time.
ask the sheriff. So, any new clue? Nope. Okay.
I have heard the story of Dawson and Nelligan, the West Country bankers.
Yes, Joshua Nelligan was my father.
I am aware that it had a bad ending. When the bank failed, it ruined half the families of Cornwall, whereupon Joshua Nelligan disappeared.
My father was under extraordinary pressure. Dawson had retired. I was only 10 years of age at the time, but it was still old enough to feel the shame that befell our family. My father was convinced that he could pay off all his debts if the creditors gave him time. He set sail for Hammerfest in Norway in his small yacht, just a few days before an arrest warrant was issued. He left my mother a list of the securities he was taking. No word was ever heard from him again. We believe that his vessel went down, taking with it everyone and everything on board.
Thank you for the story, Mr. Nelligan. Interesting. Joshua Nelligan and Peter Carey were both at sea in Norway. There is definitely some connection between Peter Carey and Joshua Nelligan's disappearance.
So there is a connection.
Locked.
At your service, Mr. Holmes.
Oh, I can ask her. Joshua Nelligan. So let's ask her, perhaps.
Who could do such? Who could do such a thing? My poor husband.
Hmm.
(1883). That's the one I need. This is the crew list of the Sea Unicorn. Log notes for June. Nothing unusual. Log notes for July. Log notes for August. These pages have been torn away. Log notes for August. Canadian Pacific Railway, CPR, a torn piece from a bond certificate. I have seen this abbreviation somewhere very recently. There are 3 ways of discovering what happened in August of 1883 aboard the Sea Unicorn. The first 2 of these will require speaking with a dead man. The last would be to locate vital witnesses, the sailors involved in this whale hunt campaign.
Where am I going to find a witness?
Who could do such a thing? My poor husband.
At your service, Mr. Holmes. Mr. Holmes?
What am I doing here? I've done nothing wrong.
These are the suspect's belongings. I wonder if these are connected. No, that's not it. No, that's not it. Now we have the proof that Nelligan's papers were indeed here. It seems that they have vanished, however. Tell me, Mr. Nelligan, what exactly were you hoping to find inside Peter Carey's cabin?
I was trying to find some information about my father.
I assume you had another purpose, to retrieve the bond certificates. Am I correct?
Yes. I discovered some time ago that a few of the missing securities had reappeared on the London market. You can imagine my amazement. I spent months trying to find them, and at last I discovered that the original seller had been Captain Peter Carey. These papers, they belong to my family, but I could not find them there.
So?
Well, I will see you soon, young man.
What am I doing here? I've done...
Locked.
So what am I supposed to do now? Wiggins. Don't think there's any left. Nope.
Something new, Watson. I have the list of sailors who were aboard the Sea Unicorn. We shall soon learn what happened to Nelligan's father. I have only to find them. Let us hope they are still working at the harbour.
I think that if you pretend you're from Scotland Yard...
I doubt it, Watson. And really, I would prefer that all of this remains quiet for now. But I have another solution. I'll call in the specialist.
And who might they be?
The secret police division of Baker Street.
Ah, you mean young Wiggins and his gang?
Yes. Believe me, you'll receive more useful assistance from these little urchins than from a dozen yard detectives. Those children are everywhere. They see and hear everything, and they are cunning. All they...
Okay, what the fuck? Why is my stream not working properly? How am I not connected? As far as I can tell, my internet is working. It's pretty slow, but okay.
They lack is organization. I'll summon them.
How will you do that?
There is always a watch beneath our window. I have only to call him. Watson, I need Wiggins. Is he anywhere nearby?
He's right across the street. You can give him a sign from the window.
Why is she still standing there?
Wiggins, could you come upstairs, please?
At your service, Mr.
Wiggins, I need you to track down certain people for me. I'll give you a list. You can read, can't you?
Big Oliver from our gang. He can, as his father is the coachman of a famous lawyer.
Fascinating.
Sailors? Easy. Just got to look where the rum and the red lights are.
Sorry to trouble you, Mr. Holmes, but the inspector asks that you come to the station as soon as possible.
Will
Thank
do.
you. I'll be there shortly.
There was a dog.
Brave Toby. The best nose in the British Empire. A map of London and the surrounding...
Back to the police we go.
Mr. Holmes, I'm glad to see you.
As always. What happened?
We have a new suspect, Liam Hurtley. I'm thinking that this case will be resolved very quickly now.
Interesting. Pray tell.
Well, the constable that I left at Woodman's Lee noticed a suspicious individual prowling around during the night.
Do you have him here?
Yes. He refuses to speak with us, but we'll make him talk.
Let us.
Ah, yes, and one more thing. The constable told me that at the time... Of course. It's in the evidence room. At your disposal. Admit that for once, Mr. Holmes, Scotland Yard is a step ahead of you, eh?
Breathtaking. These are the suspect's belongings. Liam Hurtley's old boots. They're a size 9.5. The stains are fresh. They can be removed with the proper chemicals. A pen. Nothing unusual about it.
Alright, so I can probably take that back home. I had a chemical setup, so I'm guessing that I can use it to... Yes.
I need to prepare a chemical agent that is capable of removing fresh ink. For this purpose, the chemicals from the flasks should be combined in a certain order to perform a chain reaction. First condition, all 7 reagents should be used. Second condition, orange reagent should be the third one in the sequence after the blue reagent. Third condition, colorless reagent should be added after the orange reagent. First condition, all 7 reagents should be used. Second condition, orange reagent should be the third one in the sequence after the blue reagent.
Okay.
Third condition, colorless reagent should be added after the orange reagent.
Dus eerst groen, dan blauw, orange as third after blue, then the colorless, then another blue,
No, something isn't right. I need to start the reaction from the beginning again.
oops, didn't mean to skip it in that way, but so I have nothing that connects. Oh, disconnected. The break attempts were made in order to recover the notebook that had been lying in a pool of the victim's blood. This proves that the guilty person who made the attempts. Nelson was looking for his father's paper inside. It explains his presence at the murder scene. John Nelligan could have been stealing the bonds. This might have been a wood. So as a victim sucks and he does not fit the water to murder. Let's go back to the yard. It is quite something, this game. I really question what the hell my internet is doing. Not a lot, that's for sure.
How is the investigation going, Mr. Holmes? Do you have any idea who the murderer is yet?
Shut your cake hole. Where is my prisoner?
Please escort this suspect for interrogation. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Sherlock Holmes. I would like to ask you a few questions.
I've already told the police that I've nothing to say. And you're not even part of the police.
Precisely, and considering your situation, it might be wise to speak with someone who is, shall we say, rather more neutral. You are a suspect in a murder case.
I know. Inspector Lestrade told me.
Could you at least tell me who you are, and exactly what happened that you should be brought here?
My name is Liam Hurtley. That I can tell you. But you're not getting any more.
Well. So tell me, Mr. Hurtley, what did you hide?
Hide? What are you talking about?
I did as you asked, and hid them well. Should I continue?
My letter? But the ink? That's impossible.
A touch of chemistry, nothing special.
Well, you're a smart one. But it's nothing. If you want to know, I was referring to my tools. It was to do with my work, see?
I will check them.
It's the same handkerchief. I think we have our victim. He's the gardener.
That's all for now.
How is the investigation going, Mr. Holmes?
Does the name Liam Hurtley mean anything to you?
No, I don't know anyone by that name.
Liar.
Thank you, madam.
Who could do such a thing? My poor husband.
I have no clue where to search now. Is there anything else I can search over there? Perhaps the tools?
Old navigation. This place is not covered with an object was taken. It seems that the garden was well maintained. Dundee. Hammerfest. It's a whaling map.
Does this help? To any sorts?
These boots don't match the footprints.
So it was the other guy. This will match.
These boots match the footprints exactly. These footprints appear to be quite large.
I guess we should ask him about that. Oh no, I could have asked the woman as well. Wait, I'm going to the woman first. First to the woman, then talk to her. She said she didn't know him, so... If she didn't know him, how the fuck are his footprints in the garden? Liar, liar, pants on fire.
Please escort. Tell me, Mr. Hurtley.
Woodman's Lee? I've never been there.
The second pair of boots that you had with you when you were arrested perfectly match the footprints found near the cabin where Peter Carey was murdered.
Footprints? That's your proof? How many men have boots?
Now that your presence at Woodman's Lee has been proven, would you care to explain it?
I don't remember. What would I be doing there anyway?
Oh, it's wrong.
Now that your presence at Woodman's Lee has been proven, would you care to explain it?
I don't remember. What would I be doing there anyway?
Because you are the gardener at Woodman's Lee.
I'm not. How did you...
I observed your hands. They told me that you work with the earth. Small fragments of plants snagged to your trousers indicate that you are mowing them. But the most obvious clue presented itself in the bird embroidered on your handkerchief. A crested tit, if I...
All right, you got me. Yes.
That's all for now. Hurtley's stories are false leads. But now I know one thing for certain. I must examine the site where the
What am I doing here?
Why does he ignore that the woman said she didn't know him? Makes no sense. I'm even a step further than this guy. Where are the tools?
Madam, we have information that the valuable stolen papers are hidden amongst the garden tools here at Wood.
Oh my. Our tools are kept inside the shed that's right behind me. Here is the key to open it.
Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Let's see what could be hidden here.
The box.
Let us see what is in this box.
How does this work? Got him.
A bundle of letters in a woman's hand with the Carey family monogram. Hurtley and Mrs. Carey were in a relationship. That is interesting. Madam, I am aware of your affinity with Liam Hurtley.
Oh, what are you talking about?
Why does it have to restart because of that?
Madam, I am aware of your affinity with Liam Hurtley.
Oh, what are you talking about?
Mrs. Carey, we found your letters.
My letters? I asked Liam to return them to me. I wanted to burn them.
Why did Mr. Hurtley put them inside the garden shed?
I don't know. I wanted them back, but I couldn't see him, not after what happened.
Well, here they are.
Oh, this is terrible. Terrible. Liam, how could he? After what he has done.
You believe that he killed your husband?
No, I do not know. I do not know. Leave me alone, please.
Thank you, madam. I wonder if Wiggins has managed to find any sailors.
Leave me alone, please.
Right.
Mr. Holmes, we found the sailors from that list you gave us.
Well done, Wiggins. Let me see. This is interesting. Let us review the other sailors now. This man is a harpooner, and his initials are PC, the same initials that were found on the tobacco pouch. Wiggins, could you gather some information on one of the sailors that you found?
We found Patrick
Good job.
He lives in a small furnished dump of a room, but he's always at the Sea Witch pub.
Excellent.
Thank you, sir.
It's all coming together now.
If I wish to speak to Cairns without alarming him, I had better dress as a sailor.
Do I have a sailor hat? This kinda looks like it.
Now I can approach Cairns and see if he recognizes the pouch. Hello there. Are you Cairns?
What do you want?
We've heard all about the gambling on arm wrestling here. You seem like the likely sort, and I'm up for it.
I start at 10 shillings.
Suits me.
Right, give me 1 second. Oh, I did it wrong.
I'm ready.
instructions wrong. Ja! Alright, I have to go and eat. I'll be back in some time. Probably later on tonight. Alright, thank you for watching. Till next time.